It's time for a food haul video. Nate and I really enjoy going to LA with our friend John Kohler, and we check out the markets, we go to the produce terminals, and we find some pretty awesome stuff, including things like this giant head of cauliflower. When we take our trips to LA, we typically leave on a Friday afternoon, and then we spend the weekend enjoying the markets and stuff, and hikes. We got to do 2 awesome hikes this time. We enjoyed the beach and we hiked a peak as well. So it was really nice to spend some time in nature and explore the area. We enjoyed delicious food as usual. We brought our cooler with us and we went to the produce terminals early Monday morning and got some deliciousness. So our food haul was one of the biggest ones that we have done since we moved to Vegas. This is everything that we got in LA. A lot of it we're going to freeze dry and freeze and enjoy. Let's dig into it in this video. After dropping John off and all his stuff, we drive home and take our cooler out along with all the other stuff. We have to get a big trolley because we live on the 21st floor of our building, so we need some help to get everything up. And everything managed to fit really nicely on our little valet here, and we brought it upstairs. Here it is in our kitchen, ready to get put away. But first, I gotta put it all on the floor. All right, we have unpacked the truck, and this is everything that we bought in LA. And the reason why we go to LA is because they have way better farmers markets than they do here in Vegas, and they have the produce terminals where we get incredible deals on food. So we like to go there with John Kohler about once every month or two to just stock up on some stuff for cheap and make a trip out of it. We go hiking, we meet some really cool people, and we just hang out with John, and it's really fun. So we like to go there and save a lot of money because we're gonna be buying food anyways, so why not buy it cheaper and get a little trip out of it. So a lot of this stuff we got for cheap, and we're gonna be freeze drying some of it and eating most of it, obviously. So I'm gonna go over each and every single thing, how much we paid for it, and what we plan to do with it. So let's start over here with the mushroom kit. So we got this kit from Long Beach Mushrooms. It's a grow kit to grow your own mushrooms. They're oyster mushrooms. So that's gonna be fun. If you want, you can go to longbeachmushrooms.com and check them out for yourself. We have this case of jicama. This case of jicama was $5. $5 for all this inulin-rich food for the gut microbiome, and it's delicious. So we're probably going to chop most of it. We'll probably save like 2 or 3 of them to eat grated fresh in salads, or to use as kind of like taco. If we can shave them well enough, we can use them for taco shells. But the vast majority of these are going to be chopped up in matchstick, marinated in a sauce, and then freeze dried. So that's what we're gonna do with those. These long daikon radishes, so we're gonna make those into kimchi. Then we have the citrus. It's citrus season right now, so we just bought a bunch of citrus. We're gonna just eat these. Nothing special is gonna happen to these except we're going to enjoy them. This box back here is kind of a random box. The 2 big pomelos you see in the corners, those were gifted to us by John's friend Wendy. She grows them, and there's some other oranges that she got from her tree that she gave us. That dragon fruit is a rare type of dragon fruit that I got at the exotic fruit store. They have like these really cool fruit markets there. That mango, 2 of them actually, those are exotic floral mangoes, and they're expensive, but hey, why not, right? We've got some sweet limes. Those aren't lemons, they're sweet limes. We've got some avocados and a bag of garlic. It's a purple garlic. This case of bananas we got for 15 bucks. They're not regular bananas. They're a different kind. I can't remember what they are, but they're a more rare type, and they're ripe and ready to go. for $15. We're just going to peel them all and freeze them for an ice cream. We might eat a couple of them fresh, but they're gonna be used for an ice cream. Then we have this case of nectarines that we got for 20 bucks, which is a killer deal. And I'm gonna wash these all and then we're just gonna eat them. And whatever we don't eat will probably end up freeze drying, or we'll just blend them in smoothies and stuff too. This case of heirloom tomatoes, if you can see all of those, they're beautiful. This case was 25 bucks, and normally just one tomato at Whole Foods is like $5 or $7 just for one. So we got the case for 25 bucks. Then we have lots of strawberries. Strawberries are kind of expensive right now, so we snapped up some deals. This case of strawberries right here was $17 for all of those. But then we were at the old terminal, and we found these cases for 15 bucks each. So we got those, there's way more in those. And we have the pine berries as well, those white ones. So we're gonna basically wash all of these and then chop up the ones that are kind of like on their way out. And we'll keep the really fresh looking ones to eat fresh. And the rest of them we're gonna freeze dry because we like to crumble them up and put them in our ice cream. We also want to freeze dry them and then grind them into a powder so that we can add it to, say, dressings, or add it to an ice cream to give it the pink color and a little extra flavor. So there's some really cool things you can do with fruit powders as well. We've got Raja over here checking everything out. What do you think, Raja? So we'll head on over here to our bitter greens section because we've got pink radicchio, we have Castelfranco, we have regular radicchio, and we have a case of Belgian endive. So the reason we get all of these is for our gut microbiome. We love the bitters and we've been eating a lot of them. So they've been increasing our gut microbiome and we're just not gonna stop. We love them. These pink ones are very special. The case, there's only 8 in there and it was $35, but they're super rare, they're fun. It's like, why not, right? They're pink for raw food romance. So I had to get them, I really did. I wanna make a pink salad with pink radicchio and some pink watermelon radish with a pink dressing, maybe made with the powdered strawberries. So yeah, that had to be purchased. This case here was 20 bucks, I think. And this case was 16 and this case was 20. So they're really expensive in the store. Like one radicchio can be like $5 or $7. So the whole case for 16, you can't pass that up when you're going to the terminals. We also got this case of watermelon radish. So we'll use that grated in our salads and in our kimchi. We'll ferment a lot of it and they're a little soft. So we got the case for 8 bucks. $8 for watermelon radish, all of that. Incredible. We also got this case of sunchokes. I eat a lot of sunchokes. I try to eat them every single day because they're the highest source of inulin for the gut microbiome. And what we're gonna do with these ones, we still have quite a few sunchokes from last trip to LA, which was about a month, actually it was almost 2 months ago. We still have sunchokes. They last really well. They hold up really well in a breathable container. Or if you bury them in soil, that's the best way to preserve them. Just bury them in a pot and then dig them up as you want them. But the sunchokes, these ones here, we're going to wash up and then have them in the containers in the fridge to eat fresh. The ones in the fridge, I'm gonna chop up into cubes. I'm gonna marinate them in some lemon juice, garlic, herbs and spices of whatever I feel like adding. Maybe some fresh dill. Maybe I'll make a dill version or whatever. Maybe I'll make a chili version. But I marinate them in some lemon juice and garlic, and then I freeze them. So we put them on plates and freeze them on the plates. And then once they're frozen after 24 hours, then we transfer them to the freezer bags and then vacuum seal the freezer bags so that you don't get the condensation and all those ice cubes in it. Vacuum sealing and freezing is like next level. So that's what we're gonna do with the sunchokes. So most of these will be consumed fresh and some of them will be frozen. Then there's this box. This is an interesting, this one has a story. This box right here is, Nate calls it the center salad box because at the terminal, the old terminal, they have a center aisle where vendors will toss their rotten fruit or boxes of fruit that they're not going to sell, or vegetables or whatever. Sometimes they drop on the floor and they just throw them over there. So while we were waiting for John to go grab his box of apples, we were just kind of like walking around the center aisle, and we're like, hey, look at these habaneros. They look just perfect. They might have like a little blemish on them or whatever, but they're fine. They're totally fine. The zucchinis have little blemishes on them, but we're gonna peel them, and we'll probably use those in dressings to extend the fat in the dressing. We still make it creamy without adding extra fat. We've got these limes. They looked perfectly fine, and the tomatoes looked fine too. There is a few little spots on the tomatoes. We'll just cut them off. We have to wash this box really well though. We're gonna let it soak in the Norwex fruit and veggie wash, and then in a vinegar soak. So we'll make sure that those are clean. But that's a cool box. We got that all for free. Then we come here to the cauliflower. We got a lot of cauliflower. We've been eating tons of cauliflower. Dr. Rick Dina would be proud. He eats a head of cauliflower every day. It's actually really high in protein, and it's got a really good source of choline. So a lot of people say that they need to eat eggs to get the choline. You can get a fair amount of choline if you eat a fair amount of cauliflower. So that's something that we've been eating a lot of, because we make our cauliflower marinated in the freeze dryer. So we also really like to freeze the cauliflower and then thaw it and put it in soups or blend it in dressings. It makes things creamy, and we really love it when it's frozen and then thawed. So what we're gonna do with these, chop them up into bite-sized pieces, freeze them on plates. Once they're frozen after 24 hours, we're gonna put them in vacuum sealed bags. So that's what we're gonna do with all of this cauliflower. Those cauliflowers we paid $1.99 each for, from 99¢ only. It's like a dollar store. It is a dollar store basically, but they have produce, and they get produce that's kind of like, you know, second rate, I guess, and they sell it for dirt cheap. Sometimes they have organic cauliflower there for 99¢ a head. So it's nice to shop around and go to different places, because you never know what kind of sales you'll have. But these ones were $1.99. We got this massive head of cauliflower from Alma Backyard Farm. It's an urban farm in Compton, and they have a farm stand twice a month, and they grow everything on the property behind a church, and they sell it at the farm stand to the community. And they employ ex-convicts who are looking to integrate into society. So they work there on the farm. It's a really beautiful place. I really love what they're doing there. So I love supporting them. And this head of cauliflower is like the biggest head of cauliflower I've ever seen, and they grew it. So had to support. It was $6. These Romanescos we got at one of the farmers markets, along with these purple cauliflowers and the mustard greens. Then we got some really cool carrots and some other unique radishes, because why not? We have some fresh ginger here. The raw tahini we found at Grocery Outlet, and they were like $6 a jar, when normally they're like 12 or 14. So we had to get 3 of those. We got some red walnuts. Walnuts are a really good microbiome food for me, so I try to have just a tablespoon a day. I'll add it to dressings or what have you to feed my microbiome. We got some red onions there. Here's that endive. We got a massive, massive head of cabbage here. We're gonna make some sauerkraut with that, homemade sauerkraut. Got some fresh peas from Alma, some passion fruit, and this avocado we got off the tree. This case of medjool dates was 20 bucks at the produce terminal. And we got our dragon fruit. So last time we went to LA, we got an amazing deal on dragon fruit. And we got 3 cases for $5 each. So it was $15 for 3 cases of dragon fruit. They were kind of on their way out. They had some rotten spots, but the inside was absolutely perfect. We freeze dried it all and it was delicious. But we love fresh dragon fruit, and these ones were 28 bucks a case. So not like super crazy awesome deal, but they are less than what we can get them here. They're like $2 and something each. So that's pretty good. And they look beautiful. That's one of the big reasons why we got those. We got a case of Larabars because they were on sale at Grocery Outlet. And at Grocery Outlet, we got more spices. So we have here onion powder, which we use a lot of in our dressings. So we have minced onion that we like to shake on top of our salads to get like a little extra crunch, which is so nice. And then we were out of chili powder, and I might as well get another paprika, because why not, right? They were $5 each at Grocery Outlet, so it's a steal of a deal. And then we have our sugarcane juice. This is our sugarcane juice from Fresh Canes in LA. So most sugarcane juice that you get from the cane juice places is pasteurized and heated before they import it, because you have to pasteurize to import it into the country. But his sugarcane comes from California and it's really close by. They don't have to pasteurize it, and he gets it raw and he juices it raw. So it's truly raw sugarcane juice. So we always stock up, and we're gonna make some dressings with that as the base. Oh my gosh. And we're gonna drink it too, of course. We added ginger and lime. That's probably what's on the bottom there. A little bit of the ginger and lime fibers that are settling, because he juices the ginger and the lime whole. So there's still some fiber in there too. But that is our haul this round. And we also cannot forget the koji and the miso that we get from Amazaki Co. They are delicious. We add them to our dressings. They're like an umami seasoning, basically. It adds like a salty, earthy, grounding flavor to dressings, but it's also a living food. These are fermented and alive, so they're really good for the gut microbiome. And we always get the chickpea miso. We still use soy miso, but when we can find chickpea miso, we go for it. So these ones, again, we got from Amazaki Co. I believe you can order online. So if you wanted to get some as well, the tamari one is so amazing. And the more like gingery, garlicky dressings. And the shio is good for pretty much any dressing, because it's just like a salty kind of addition to your dressing. But yeah, I had to add those in because I forgot they were in the cooler. So I had to take them out and add them to our massive haul. And now the next step is to get working on everything. So it'll take all day. Nate and I are going to work together to do this. I realize that not everybody has the time to be able to do something like this, but we do, and we've added that to our life. I'm still going to be working today in between stuff. I'll probably take half-hour breaks and just go work on a big project that I'm working on, so that I'm not working. So it's going to be a big day, and I will share further what we're doing so you can watch how we're going to use all this stuff.
So this is one of the really cool things we're excited about, aside from that beautiful haul that we splayed all over the floor, is this right here. This is fresh pressed sugarcane juice with ginger and lime, and under vacuum sealed here. So look at this here. Beautiful. That holds it fresh. These are the coolest thing. You can seal up dressings and smoothies and whatever you want to do. Juices, of course, are beautiful to take the air out of. And then look at here. Ready? Oh my gosh.
Oh, sugarcane.
Sugarcane. We got these from Fresh Canes down there in LA from Jason's place. Go make sure you check him out.
Thank you, Jason.
Love you, bro. Thank you so much.
First things first, let's get to the strawberries, because they're going to go bad the fastest. So we're using the Norwex Fruit and Veg Produce Wash, filling these giant bowls with water and throwing our strawberries in there to soak before we get to chopping them. Now I like to use the freeze dryer trays, even just to freeze stuff on, but we are going to be putting these trays into the freeze dryer. So I just sliced up the strawberries, and there were lots of them that had some really soft spots. So I tried to cut around as much as I could. And while I was chopping those, I also washed the nectarines to get those ready for the shelf. As you can see here, a lot of the strawberries had mushy areas. That's why they were so cheap, but I still got plenty of strawberries to go into the freeze dryer. Here are all 5 trays ready to go into our freezer to freeze for 48 hours before they go in the freeze dryer. Then it was time to work on the sunchokes. Dumped the box of sunchokes into another fresh bowl of produce wash and washed those. Now these ones we aren't freeze drying. These ones we just chopped into cubes and put them in a big bowl with a lemon juice, garlic marinade. I also added some dill and a little miso paste just to give it a little extra flavor. Plus the lemon juice helps to prevent coloring of the sunchokes and the oxidation. So I mixed that up. It was a little bit of a process, but I managed. And as mentioned before, I like using these trays even just to freeze stuff on them. These will not go in the freeze dryer, but the trays are so wonderful to get everything on them, and they fit bananas perfectly. So if you're going to freeze for ice cream, these trays fit a lot, and they fit in our chest freezer quite nicely. So we just filled up all the trays and put them into the freezer. We used parchment paper in between just so they didn't stick to each other. And with these, we can make dishes like this from the Make It Raw ebook that I wrote with Chef AJ. These are dehydrated from frozen sunchokes with a sauce. So delicious. Because all the food prep took place over a couple of days, this is just a clip of the strawberries that are in the freeze dryer. So once they were in the freezer for about 48 hours, then we moved them over to the freeze dryer to freeze dry. It's better to start them off frozen. It's a lot less work on the freeze dryer. And here we go. These are the freeze-dried strawberries. We're going to use these on top of an ice cream. We'll add them added to smoothies, grind into a powder to add to sauces. Such a delicious addition. Here they are again on the counter, and here they are in the jars. We still had some strawberries that we needed to put on another tray. We bought so many. It was a lot. But here they are in the jars, vacuum sealed. For the jicama, we also freeze-dried some jicama fries. So Nate chopped these into fry shapes, and we marinated them in a sauce. And here is a tray of garlic. We got 2 trays, actually. We got this garlic from Costco, and we just chopped it up and freeze-dried it. It's going to go great in our camping meals, freeze-dried. And this is zucchini. Remember those zucchinis that we got for free in the throwaway center aisle section? We chopped those up and marinated them in some lemon juice and spices. And here is the cauliflower. Again, these trays are not going in the freeze dryer. These trays are just going in the freezer because we're going to freeze them and use them in sauces and soups. We're going to make our freeze-dried masala with them, but I like to have them frozen first because once they're thawed, we'll add a sauce just like this. This one here is the masala recipe. And we love doing these and then freeze drying again. But once we thaw them, they get really soft, and the sauce just really gets into the nooks and crannies a lot better when they're soft than if they were hard, fresh. So here we go. We're just adding them to the trays to go into our freeze dryer. And again, if you guys want the freeze dryer link, that's in the description box below. So if you're interested in just getting the trays to freeze stuff on, or if you were interested in getting the actual freeze dryer, the link is in the description box. Here is the cozy, creamy, dilly cauliflower. That recipe for that sauce on the top level is in my new transition guide that you can get from my e-store. Here we go. Ooh, delicious. This is the fully freeze-dried. And this is an example of what we use it for. We like to take them hiking and little snacks that we can enjoy. They're so light because they've been freeze-dried. And we just take those in little containers in our backpack, and we have a really good snack while we're hiking. It also rehydrates really well. This one is rehydrated with a little bit of water. So it's just like if we would have thawed it from the freezer. Here are all our freeze-dried foods. This is the end of the video, so we just wanted to show you guys all the goodies that we've been making in our freeze dryer. We hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next one, I love you all, and fruit on.